All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you daily horoscope for Monday, the 26th of July, 2021. What a powerful weekend. Wrapping up the moon in the sign of Aquarius. Really intense energy. Sun's in the sign of Leo. The moon is now moving in the sign of Pisces. Today is going to create an opposition to Venus in the sign of Virgo. Show you what that looks like, and I'll talk about this here. This is an interesting aspect. We look at this as the right brain, oneness and creativity and lack of judgment. We look at Virgo as the left brain, which is the judgment mind, analytical mind. This is possibilities and limitlessness. What's in the box? What could it be? It's a ball. This is Virgo's over here is like, well, it's a simple thing. We know, it's not an elephant, it's not a giraffe, it's not a merry-go-round, it's the box isn't that big. But then over here in the wondrous side of Pisces, it's this limitless possibility. It could be anything inside that box. Maybe it's not a living elephant, but it could be a little toy elephant. So there's this sense of like possibility, and then a cynical aspect. It's just like, no, it's just this one thing. The bigger picture of this opposition here, the moon and Venus, they both deal with emotions. And the sign of Virgo is all about being of service. And coincidentally enough, this particular degree of Pisces is also about being of service. But not just about service, but it's about an emotional value, an emotional attachment, emotional abundance. Also close to Jupiter here, this conjunction to Jupiter, the moon and Jupiter here. Emotional abundance, about being of service. So what does that mean? That means we should be joyous to give our services. We should be joyous and happy, and emotional fulfillment for us wanting to do the thing that we do, whatever that thing that may be. The other side of that coin is when we're being serviced, when we're receiving, to have an emotional joy, emotional response that's positivity, that's going to sustain the community. If we're being of service to ungrateful people, as much as we love doing what we do, if people are ungrateful, it makes us not want to do the thing that we love, or makes us want to shift, pivot, whatever, to doing something where we have the emotional abundance, the emotional joy, the emotional fulfillment that can be sustained by being of service. So there's both sides. So one, this is allowing ourselves to be happy, allowing ourselves the emotional fulfillment to give, to be of service, to do whatever it is. And it's the emotional fulfillment to be served, the emotional fulfillment. That's like, in the grand scheme, it's like saying please and thank yous. It's being grateful on one hand to do what you do, to be the awesome person you are and the awesome service that you provide, whatever that may be. And on the other side, it's being grateful, having an attitude of gratitude for when you're being waited on, when you're being served, when you go pamper yourself, get the massage, or whatever the case may be. So that's a good chunk of our day here, that opposition. The other good aspect that's happening today is Jupiter septile to the sun. Now, if you've been following this channel, or you just you're into astrology in general, a Jupiter-Sun conjunction is one of the happiest positive aspects in astrology. When we see the sun and Jupiter making a connection, other than a square in opposition, that tends to be, Jupiter's about abundance. It's about joy. It's about belief. Faith here in the sign of Pisces. Faith. We don't know what's around the corner. We have to have faith. We have to have courage to take that step. We don't know what's inside that cave. It could be a treasure chest, a cove of riches galore. Could be a bear. We don't know. We have to have faith, but we have to have courage. This septile is working together, connecting Jupiter and Pisces to the Sun and Leo. Sun and Leo are our ego, sense of self. Let's go. Let's do it. I'm the king of the jungle. I'm the apex predator. I'm not scared to go into there. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be awesome. And there's going to be an emotional fulfillment involved because I'm doing the thing. I'm acting out, right? And that's the whole Venus moon thing going on here. There's just emotional fulfillment in whatever we're giving and whatever we're receiving today. So we have an emotional fulfillment on one hand, and on the other hand, we have this fearlessness that we don't know exactly what it is. We have to have faith and belief to go in this direction, and when we do, it's like it's like our soul's purpose comes alive. I mean, that's really our day. It's joyous, beautiful, be adventurous. I'll show you one other thing that's going on here. Neptune is also creating, we still have the Neptune septile to Mars, Mars septile to Uranus and Taurus, and Uranus and Taurus septile back to Neptune. We have a new connection going on today, which is the quintile down here to the North Node. We also have Mercury here in the sign of Cancer, moving through the last couple of degrees of Cancer, creating a quintile to Uranus. Those quintiles are creative energy. It's like, you know, somebody being exceptional at a sport, or exceptional at music, or exceptional at writing. This is one that's sticking out big time today because we're dealing with communication, writing, expressing from the heart, expressing from a place of emotions, and the possibilities that, you know, that is breakthroughs. When we're dealing with Uranus, expect the unexpected. You know, maybe we're ghostwriting. Maybe we're just sitting down and expressing something. Maybe we're going to share it through social media. You know, we have Mercury opposing Pluto here. So this is like whatever is being said, you know, there's a huge shift and change that's going on, that's taking place. And when we're expressing our emotions, and we find this creative way to communicate these emotions, you know, there's some, I don't want to say reward. There's a leveling up of self. There's this sense of yes. And Mercury is still trine, which is the easy flow of energy to Neptune and Pisces, Mercury in the last degrees of Cancer. So this is like, again, we don't know if, when we're being courageous, when we're allowing ourselves to be full of fire and full of energy, and being able, but not burning, scorching people with our fire, but being gentle. It's just like we're shining our light. Our light is absolutely necessary. This is Mars and Sun in the sign of Leo. Connecting with all of this Piscean energy, you know, is water. Water and fire, they don't mix. But they are, and they're mixing in a harmonious way today, to where it's just like the fire energy that we have is gentle, and it comes across, and especially through the communication, it's just like it's courage. I have courage to express these emotions, and I'm going to do it in a practical manner. Uranus and Taurus creating that connection to Mercury and Cancer. It's a practical manner that I'm going to be able to express myself, and the outcome, the results of that, not only one do I get the emotional fulfillment because I did the thing. I communicated what was necessary, or I text out, or wrote out, or I wrote the letter to the boss saying why I need a raise, and here's a creative way of looking at it, and look at all these things that I do to benefit your company. Or, you know, it could be anything. Could be anything that's going on in your world right now. But there's a lot of joy in this. And this is a new way to think about something. It might not be writing. It could be a new way to think about something, a new perspective. You know, it's like this. That's a perspective. That's a perspective. And this is like, it's closed off. You know, that's weird. So it's like, okay, well, this, we might not be able to pass that brick wall. But when we look at it from a different angle, it's like, oh, that's actually It's not a solid chunk, or it's not, it's just like a shift of perspective is extremely important. And I think that's part of the dualistic nature right now that's going on between Venus. All the energy is moving to Virgo, right? Venus is in Virgo right now. Mars is about to enter Virgo. And yet we have the Moon, Jupiter, and Neptune in the sign of Pisces, which are planets of expansion and our emotional needs. So it's just like we need to have faith. We need to believe in ourselves. Sun and Mars, we need to act. We have to have courage. We have to follow through with the intuition. Venus in Virgo, we have to, Venus in Virgo is a very difficult placement because we can be so analytical. I'll jump on this for a second. We can be so analytical and nitpicky and wrong. And this is against, I'm not being emotionally fulfilled by how you presented me this cocktail and you're servicing me, and now, so now there's like angers, to whatever, to the other person. So now they don't have an emotional fulfillment by being of service to you. So we can be very picky with Venus in Virgo. We can just look at things. It's like we can have everything, I'm just hit the mic, sorry. We can have everything, sorted and put away except one thing. And it's like our eyes or our attention, and because we're looking at beauty or symmetry, Venus is the most symmetrical planet in the zodiac, or in the solar system, the solar system we're aware of anyway, because it rotates so slow. So it's very symmetrical. So we look at that as beauty, and it's just like something's not, in place or whatever, our eyes focus right on it, and all of a sudden it's like it's wrong. So we're letting go, and that's part of the heavier energy. Planets of expansion in the Moon is saying it's okay. Nothing's okay, so it's okay. Allowing and accepting, having faith. That's our day, my friends. All right. There's a lot going on. Have a beautiful day. Thank you, as always, for hanging out with me. I hope you had a wonderful weekend and a great start to this week. I'll see you tomorrow.